Welcome to Wise Millennial. I'm Christian. This video is all about how to save money by switching to a cheaper carrier. In particular, I'm going to give an honest review of Mint Mobile, my current cell phone provider, and compare it to my previous cell phone carrier called Republic Wireless. First off, the way these types of budget carriers work is by renting space or bandwidth off of larger carriers like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. This is because those larger networks can afford to put up the hardware like cell towers and cables that some of the smaller carriers could never compete in creating such a large global or at least countrywide network. So Mint Mobile uses the T-Mobile network, which means that essentially you get virtually the same coverage as a T-Mobile direct customer. And that's a great thing because that means that you can pay the rate that Mint Mobile charges but get the same coverage as a T-Mobile customer. Now I used to have Republic Wireless, which uses some of the networks of Sprint and T-Mobile together. And so Republic Wireless operates its business much in the same way as Mint Mobile does. Now I originally got Republic Wireless because after graduating high school I was looking for a way to finally get a cell phone with data. Up to that point I just had a cell phone that could call and text. So I did my research online and found Republic Wireless. Republic Wireless ended up being the only way I was going to get my cell phone with data because it was the only way my dad was going to allow me to get a cell phone at all because, well, I had to pay for it myself. Republic Wireless then being the cheapest option that I found, I went with it. So there's my dad teaching me the value of money and how expensive paying for cell phone bills are really all together in one convenient lesson. What a great dad. So I got Republic Wireless around 2015 and for 4 years it was really great. I really don't have any complaints even to this day. The price was good, the data was fast enough for me, and the service was great as it worked both around Metro Pittsburgh where I was for a time, as well as in Atlanta and even way up in Montana. In 2019 my wife and I decided to finally switch from Republic Wireless to Mint Mobile, not for any negatives against Republic, but mostly because Mint Mobile just offered a better deal. Republic was offering unlimited talk plus text and 1 gigabyte of data for about $20 a month, plus some taxes. On the other hand, Mint Mobile was offering 2 more gigabytes of data for less money at just $15 a month. So it was a no-brainer price-wise. With Mint Mobile, I could get 3 gigabytes of data, the unlimited talk, the unlimited text, which is just standard for every provider nowadays, for less money at just $15 a month. To be fair to Republic, the 1 gigabyte deal that I was currently had before is now a little bit cheaper if you pay for the entire year at once. In fact, if you check out their website, which I've got right here, you'll find that for $200 for the year, which ends up being around $16.67 per month, you can get that 1 gigabyte of data. For 2 gigabytes of data, you can get that for $20.83. And then it's just $5 per gigabyte basically from there. But still, comparing that in 2020 to Mint Mobile's deal, we see $15 per month for 3 gigabytes of this 4G LTE data, which sounds like a great deal to me, and that's ultimately why we switched. Still getting more data for less money. Now, just a note, you also have to pay up front for the entire year to get this lowest rate from Mint Mobile. If you pay month to month, you could go up to $25 a month. So pay it all at once for the entire year and you'll get that $15 per month. In general, paying all at once like this is always a good option. It's always a good deal to take to save more money. Not only that, but then you just don't have the headache of having to pay for it every month throughout the year. Just pay it once and you're done. And also a quick disclaimer. I am not being paid by Mint Mobile nor Republic Wireless to give any of these opinions. In fact, they have no idea that I'm talking about it. I'm just sharing my experience about how I saved some more money by switching to the best option around today. Now, in comparing the two, Mint is certainly a better deal hands down in terms of money and data rate. However, Republic Wireless does win in one aspect, and in my opinion, that aspect was in the service quality. In general, when I used Republic Wireless, I almost never got my data dropped at any moment. I usually had data no matter where I was, whether in Atlanta or outside of the city in Montana. I mean, of course, in those long stretches between sparsely spaced cities, you're going to lose your data. But still, around the smallest towns in Montana, usually you're going to get some sort of service. In general, I found that Republic Wireless had fewer interruptions in data access while not on Wi-Fi. So its 4G LTE or 3G at the time perhaps worked just a little bit more consistently. Now Mint Mobile is still fine 90% of the time, but I have noticed just a slight bit more interruptions in that data access when not on Wi-Fi. And really you have to keep in mind that both of these providers, these smaller carriers in general, are relying on you to use Wi-Fi at home and at your work or at school, for example. In general, these smaller types of carriers are forming their business model knowing that most people use Wi-Fi most of the time. You're using Wi-Fi at work, you're using it at home, and you're using it at school. And in between is when you're going to be using data most of the time, or you're on vacation, you're going to use data all the time typically. But this is how you can get away with having just a few gigabytes of data per month without running out of that data. Now the reason some of the service on these smaller carriers can be somewhat more spotty than the larger carriers like Verizon is because they are renting that bandwidth from the larger carriers. What this means is that the customers of the smaller carriers are second-class citizens in essence to the direct customers of Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. This means that if Verizon needs more bandwidth for their customers or T-Mobile needs more bandwidth for their customers, the smaller carriers are going to get kicked off, and that's why you have less access to data some of the time. But as someone who thinks we're generally way too connected to the internet all the time, I don't have a problem with this at all. I'm totally fine with that. In fact, I need that little break away from the internet, away from thinking about what's online. Especially just when walking back and forth between work or wherever. Now a note on how I use my cell phone will also help inform how you should weigh my opinions on Mint Mobile and Republic Wireless. So in general, I just don't really use my phone to play videos while not on Wi-Fi. This is because, well, I just don't really feel the need to. I don't need to watch videos while out and about throughout my day. I can usually do that at home or wherever I am that has Wi-Fi. So I actually stayed well under 1 gigabyte most of the time that I was in Republic Wireless and in Mint Mobile. Occasionally I'd have some data accidentally turning on or running that would run up to my 1 gigabyte limit while on Republic Wireless, but you can set some of the options to help minimize those accidents. And with Mint Mobile's 3 gigabytes of data, I've yet to hit the entire limit and run out of data, so I almost always have plenty of data for when I'm traveling or out and about throughout the day and need to look up some crucial things about navigation or maybe something else that I found in the store that I want to compare to online. When in general to save money, it's a good idea to cut down on the data you need to use in order to use these smaller carriers and their well-priced plans. Most people don't need unlimited data. We tend to have a catastrophic mentality that, oh, we're going to be somewhere, we're going to need this data. But actually in almost all these small carriers, you can buy data on the spot if you need it. So you might as well stick with the cheaper plans, and if an emergency does come up in the future, you can just buy the data on the spot to get connected and find out, for example, where you're going. And in general, just data is really overrated and overpriced. We often think we need that unlimited, but most users only use a few gigabytes per month. So that's it for my review of Mint Mobile and cheap carriers in general. You can check out Republic Wireless at republicwireless.com, and you can check out Mint Mobile at mintmobile.com, and I'll put those links back in the description below so you can check those out and see if they're right for you. Again, I don't make any money from these folks, so I'm just here to provide an honest opinion about why we switched and how we're saving a little bit of money by doing so. If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, or share this content. Leave a comment below with any questions you might have about either Republic Wireless or Mint Mobile or cheap carriers in general, and I'll give you my honest opinion there as well, or my best answer. Again, subscribe to our channel Wise Millennial, where we're helping you live cheaper, smarter, and happier. See you next time. Oh, and one more thing. About the phones you can have with each of these types of carriers. With Republic Wireless, you're a little bit more limited in what phones you can have. So you can go check out their website and see a list of phones. They have about a dozen different phones from Samsung, Google, and Motorola. I went with the Motorola option as I could get them pretty cheap. From Mint Mobile, you can bring your own phone, but it has to be on the GSM network. So just keep that in mind. You have a little bit more flexibility with Mint Mobile in terms of what phone you can bring, but Republic Wireless also has some great phones that you can buy directly from their site, and in general it was super easy to set up for both of them. See you next time.